6 months after the Tax Cuts and Jobs Acts passed, stock buybacks are at record levels and corporate CEOs are cashing in. Meanwhile, working people report seeing little or no change in their paychecks. But wait, wasn't the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act supposed to be a middle-class tax cut? Flashback to 2016. Then presidential candidate Donald Trump cast aspersions on the growing economy and falsely claimed the U.S. was the most highly taxed nation in the world. He promised he would put working people first. Throughout 2017, GOP leaders and the president continually talked about the economic plight of working people and claimed their tax overhaul would benefit middle-class families. The public saw through the rhetoric. Before the bill passed, opinion polling revealed voters opposed the TCJA by a margin of 2-1. Wealthy individuals, including the Koch brothers, spent at least $100 million lobbying for the tax law. And when public pressure began mounting to squash the bill, lawmakers openly admitted that donors were pressuring them to get it done. In December 2017, Congress passed and President Trump signed the most historically unpopular tax overhaul ever. It's now projected to cost more than $1.9 trillion over the next decade. Some lawmakers propose to cut vital programs and services, such as Social Security and Medicare, to pay for these tax cuts benefiting the wealthy. So what are corporations doing with their huge tax cuts? Big businesses pledged to share their bounty with workers, many announcing one-time $1,000 bonuses, marginal increases in pay, or other investments. This is minuscule in comparison to the hundreds of millions showered on CEOs and shareholders. In fact, some of these same companies gave their CEOs cash performance bonuses averaging $3.2 million. Yet, average Americans report seeing no or very small differences in their take-home pay. Worse, some of these corporations began quietly laying off workers and announcing closures. It's so apparent that these tax cuts are disproportionately benefiting the wealthy that Senator Marco Rubio, a tax cut champion, admitted the TCJA benefits are not trickling down to working people. In the 6 months since the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act passed, many Americans remain on the financial edge, with 4 in 10 continuing to report they cannot pay for an unexpected $400 expense. But the rich? Well, they're doing just fine. Let's be honest. The Tax Cuts and Jobs Act was never intended for the middle class. Americans deserve more than rhetoric. We need real tax reform.